so that we are able to have great impact. We don't just have not just planted trees for planting sake. We have planted trees with an economic and health value to it.
Niajeni wanasauti, karibuni kwenye The Voice Podcast manze. This is another beautiful podcast and yet another beautiful day ndani ya kipindi chetu manze. Today I have a very wonderful and great friend of mine who has just nicknamed as another beautiful name because today we are all about matters environment. I'm introducing none other than the one and only, the CEO and director of one big organization that has been dealing with matters environment and climate change is none other than Mr. Ochanda himself. Habari yako sir?
Nzuri sana saa.
Yeah, thank you so much. Karibu kwa sana kwenye to our podcast.
Mm.
Manzi, this is our space.
It is an awesome space. Glad to be your host tonight. It's a great privilege to just help amplify in the voice studio the voice of nature and the environment.
Exactly. You just nicknamed us the voice of nature, yani, yeah. Because you were telling us. First of all, tell us your name and what you do at Tek Kenya before we go for a long time.
Thank you. My name is Matthew Chanda, like
Mm-hmm.
my host has introduced to us. The team leader and the director, Team Environment
Mm-hmm.
Kenya. We are the National Environment and Conservation Movement, trendsetters in conservation on our mission to keep Kenya clean, green, and breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And in a nutshell, ensuring that the Mother Nature, the environment, and the entire ecosystem has a voice through us,
Mm-hmm.
because human life and all other inhabitants depend on nature and the environment. And so, while we are not conscious to take good care of it, we put our very selves at risk. And therefore, we are here, amongst many other things, to amplify the voice of nature
Mm-hmm.
and the environment.
When was like Tech Kenya established and what was the main purpose in now establishing the Tech Environment Kenya?
Team Environment Kenya was established, we conceptualized around about 2017, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
while back. And the reason and the purpose for getting to this space, we wanted to offer our positive contribution to ensuring that we have a habitable environment, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. So there has been a lot of malpractices that have put the environment and the nature at risk. And it's evident by the adverse weather conditions that we have had in the past several years. We have dubbed it climate change. It is in no uncertain terms that climate change did not just happen. It has been necessitated and uh, made worse by human activities. We have not been very conscious and careful to really do our little thing. And it comes a wide range of activities, human activities, from deforestation, not being able to manage our energy, our water sources, and just many activities that have gone out to ensure to ensure that when it rains, we have floods that kill lives and livelihoods. When we have had extreme drought, it has killed lives and livelihoods. And why do we have floods? We'll have many reasons. But flood, the surest way of mitigating flood is a result of uncontrolled runoff, water runoff when it
Uh-huh.
rains.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah.
we have enough vegetation, when we have
Mm-hmm.
enough trees on the surface of the earth, that water will easily be captured, trapped by the vegetation. And what the vegetation will facilitate is the percolation.
Yeah.
Percolation is the earth being able to take in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But when we have bare land as a result of deforestation, a
Yeah.
lot of trees being cut left, right, and center,
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of bare land surface. When it rains and rains heavily, we have that water running off at dangerous speed on the earth's surface.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are many people who have even constructed their homes and houses along the waterways,
Yeah.
and therefore they become collateral damage
Yeah, because
of
that's a
the
debate.
wrath of nature and the
Uh-huh.
environment.
Yeah.
That's just one. I was
Yeah.
supposed to mention about the drought.
Mm.
Drought is not an it's a phenomenon that has been there historically.
Yeah.
Among as many other factors, is because when drought happens, what to ensure that we human life and our livestock and even our wildlife is safe, simply is to being able to, for instance, for farmers, you grow or plant drought resistant crops,
Yeah.
and uh, that is in the drought season. But when
Mhm.
it rains like it during the flood season, you ensure
Mhm.
that you have enough, um, um, for instance, for animals, grass,
Yeah.
which when it's in excess, you harvest and keep it for dry season, so that it's able to sustain you during the dry spell. But we have not been able to be conscious of that and put the take necessary measures so
Yeah.
that when drought comes,
Mhm.
because it's a natural occurrence, it
Mhm.
doesn't have to go with lives and
Mhm.
livelihoods.
Yeah.
So there are those things that we are trying to amplify
Mhm.
at community level so that
Yeah.
people can take full responsibility
Mhm.
of, most importantly, taking care of nature,
Mhm.
Mother Nature, and the environment.
Mhm.
They say, like Mother Teresa said, take care of the nature and will take care of you. If you
Mhm.
don't, then prepare yourself.
Yeah. So you started way back in 2017.
Yes,
2017 is way back even before people even heard of climate change. Even
yes,
people were not even realizing now what climate can do and how they are affecting the climate. Yeah.
mm,
They're
mm,
even busy dealing with industrialization.
yes.
Yeah. How did you get to discover and get to realize now that now we are having a crisis that is coming in front of our eyes, that is climate change, and what prompted you now to get into that particular space at that particular time?
Definitely, among as many other things, is just looking for a niche.
Mm-hmm.
It is said that a life, this life has enough problem creators
Mm-hmm.
and complainers. And so, having been through school and done, we wanted to find a way of making a difference um, in the space that we are passionate about. And we realize that the environment is the biggest space that has
Mm-hmm.
not been fully exploited.
Yeah.
So we have been careful and conscious to go through school. So what do you want to do? To work around environmental education,
Mm-hmm.
to create awareness of the need to conserve the environment, the
Mm-hmm.
need to plant and grow trees, the need to be good stewards of the environment,
Mm-hmm.
not just by planting trees, but also ensuring that we have proper solid waste management
Yeah.
systems. It's another biggest menace.
Mm-hmm.
Climate change that has been instigated by improper solid and liquid waste
Yeah.
management. So we came to this space and we were like, how can we find ourselves contributing positively
Mm-hmm.
to environmental conservation and its sustainability?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's a very huge industry
Mm-hmm.
because with proper environmental conservation measures, you're able to be sure that we'll be food secure.
Yeah.
We have a tree nursery set up,
Mm-hmm.
which we at the sale of seedlings that are
Mm-hmm.
needed all across the country, you're
Yeah.
able to get revenue,
Mm-hmm.
and therefore, uh, not all of us can fit in great offices
Mm-hmm.
to want white collar jobs,
Yeah.
and so the environment in the space that we play in has created enormous job opportunities for the youth, women, and PWDs
Yeah.
out there just who would want to make a difference in this regard. So we are here collaborating with many other like-minded persons, institutions, organizations, because every organization, corporate institutions, uh, even developers, real estate developers, because after they have done their construction, they have a
Yeah.
mandate
Mm-hmm.
in their budgeting. They have a component of environmental restoration. And so we are here to provide the synergy that is much more needed and technical expertise to ensure that we don't just do it,
Mm-hmm.
but do it professionally
Yeah.
and with results that are, are expected. Yes.
And over the years now, since 2017 to now, right now we are in 2024. That is more than That's more than 7 years, 8 years. Yeah,
Yes, like around
that's
about
around 7 years, eight
yes.
years. Yeah, you have done great projects. Can you please highlight some of these particular projects that we have been able to do as Tek Kenya that maybe people might not be aware that were credited to you are credited to you?
Very true. Thank you so much. I think having been conceptualized and round about that time, we
Mm-hmm.
have traversed the length, the width, and the breadth
Mm-hmm.
of this country. We've been to Mau,
Mm-hmm.
the famous Mau Forest,
Mm-hmm.
a very important resource, which is our water tower. Mau Forest, located in Narok.
Yeah.
Having been passionate and working very closely with Kenya Forest Service, we did request to go and do a liver footprint, a green
Mm.
footprint.
Yeah.
We have done 10,000 tree planting expedition.
10,000.
Yes, it is on
Wow.
record, and it was
Uh-huh.
courtesy of one of our mentors,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Isaac Kalua.
Mm-hmm.
Having seen me, a young man, very passionate, I told him, I want to
Mm-hmm.
do this. Told me, are you for real? And I engaged him,
Yeah.
and true to his word, he challenged me,
Yeah.
helped me get 10,000 seedlings in one truck. And with a few of my
Wow.
volunteers, we drove to Mau, Ngong, to Narok County and did our bit.
Yeah.
And the rest of history. We
Mm-hmm.
have gone as far as Wajir County.
Yeah.
When Wajir County in 2019, and where we were also conducting a 10,000 tree planting expedition. We
Mm-hmm.
have a tree nursery where from we were donating indigenous trees. We had thousands of them, and we were like, where can we get to plant them?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to talk to the relevant agencies through the CS, then Mohammed Elmi, who listened to me. He comes from Wajir County, and he facilitated my going to Wajir County. And 2, 3 weeks later, we were there
Mm-hmm.
with my team in a truck with 10,000 seedlings. And we did some great work there. Besides just replanting, like your boy said,
Yeah.
we were all over uh, 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 collecting plastic
Mm-hmm.
waste and doing environmental education and awareness education so that they can know that their environment is their
Yeah.
responsibility. We just came to work them.
Mm-hmm.
And so, other than that, we also have done the Nairobi National Park. You all know the
Yeah.
famous Reroute SGR
Yeah.
slogan.
Uh-huh.
The government, through its development projects, saw it fit to do a railway line.
In between the national park.
Unfortunately, that was the pathway through which, or alongside it, it was passing to
Mm-hmm.
wherever it was destined.
Yeah.
After the completion of the SGR,
Mm-hmm.
we did go talk to the KWS management. Like,
Mm-hmm.
after this, so what? Can you give us an opportunity to rehabilitate this? A huge stretch that was messed up by the construction. And so we were given an opportunity, and for 2 weeks, I mobilized seedlings. We were at the Nairobi National Park, and
Mm-hmm.
they were gracious. They gave us 2 buses
Mm-hmm.
and a truck
Mm-hmm.
to ferry seedlings and volunteers to the planting site, because the farthest end of Mombasa Road.
Mm-hmm.
So we were there for a whole 2 weeks, and you go there today.
Mm-hmm. It's
We are
that
forever grateful
difference.
to have been part of the change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those are just the two highlights
Yeah.
amongst many others,
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that we are not just about great talks and
Yeah.
conversations,
Mm-hmm.
but we are providing real and practical solutions to environmental restoration. I should be able to mention that we have done Mount Elgon and Cherengani water
Mm-hmm.
towers.
Yeah.
I think it was 2019.
Yeah.
Um, we have dubbed them tree planting expeditions. Through the help of the county government, we were at Trans Nzoia. Then he was called Morris Lokwaliwa. He was the
Mm-hmm.
CC Environment.
Mm-hmm.
He was very supportive,
Mm-hmm.
hosted us through his support. We were
Yeah.
hosted in Trans Nzoia County,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we went through the hill, the mountains, and the water towers for a whole week,
Mm-hmm.
and we had 10,000 seedlings to put the ground. Definitely, somebody else will ask how many of those have
Yeah.
grown. Environmental conservation is a shared
Yeah, it's a
responsibility.
shared
Just like the Bible says,
responsibility as
one is to plant,
well.
another one is to water,
Mm-hmm.
another one is to ensure
Ensure
that
that they're safe.
the watering and the planting
Mm-hmm.
is sustainable. So
Mm-hmm.
what do we do? We fence off the area.
Yeah.
I think I don't know how early it is,
Mm-hmm.
but I should mention that in our continued push, having shown our capacity and our ability to
Mm-hmm.
do this with an impact that is measurable and sustainable, The Kenya Forest Service have entrusted to our care a portion of the Ngong Hills,
Yeah.
10 hectares.
Actually, I was to come to that when I was wanted to ask you now, what is your future plan and what do you plan now as we go forward? Because you are doing like a great, amazing jobs, yeah. And now you can dive into that
Yes,
then gong. Mhm.
where we are headed, that is having done our activities in
Mhm.
many parts of this
Yeah.
country. We have, I didn't mention to you that we were in Taita Taveta County.
There is a time we were supposed to go to Taita Taveta.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
I
did go to
remember.
Taita Taveta
Yeah.
County.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, the time will not allow us to speak about that. But I
Yeah.
remember the director, Mr. Kenneth Ochieng.
Mhm.
It's called Captain Kenneth Ochieng,
Now he's the director at
KWS,
KWS.
a very great man.
Mhm.
I was given his contact from the headquarters.
Mhm.
I called
Mhm.
him on phone, and
Mhm.
he really warmly listened to us. And when we were
Mhm.
ready to be in Taita County,
Mhm.
he facilitated us
Mhm.
every step of the way. For
Mhm.
a week, we were at Taita Taveta County. We were in
Mhm.
Watate,
Yeah.
Wundanyi. We were in uh, all those sub counties,
Some, yeah.
literally,
Mhm.
to really engage the communities
Mhm.
and provide a small support to
Mhm.
ensure that the trees that we planted really gets to grow.
Mhm.
So let me go
To
to
the gong.
Dengong.
Mhm.
We are set to have our a model
Mhm.
of sustainable ecological landscape and
Mhm.
environmental restoration
Yeah.
project. Because the many counties we've gone to, the challenge that we have had is we've not been able to have frequent visits
Mhm.
to do follow up
Mhm.
monitoring
Mhm.
and therefore reporting the success.
Yeah.
But we have team members who have been there and they have
Mhm.
given us good feedback. This
Yeah.
particular one is going to be our success story.
Mhm. So, in terms of success story, what vision do you have for it? Because maybe me have hinted. What plans do you have? You told us it's a 10,000 hectares
Yes.
land. Yeah. What are you planning? Are you planning now? You're going to plant trees? Are you planning to? What are you planning with now that particular land? And
That particular area,
mhm.
to ensure that we have impact that will be transformative,
Mhm.
that people can come and learn from how we're able to do it.
Mhm.
We have first and foremost have engaged with
Mhm.
the community leadership, the youth groups around, the women
Mhm.
groups around who
Mhm.
have helped us with ground preparation, clearing the bushes and the thickets and all.
Mhm.
Secondly, for the purpose of for us to plant the trees, we're going to fence the trees, the area of the whole parcel.
Okay.
You know very well, Kajiado, Ngong Hills is posted in Kajiado County.
Yeah.
The nature of their lives is they are pastoralists.
Yeah.
They keep herd of cattle
Animals. Yeah.
and sheep and goat. So part of that area was their grazing land. We have engaged them and
Mhm.
requested them to come on board with us so that we
Mhm.
can ensure that we implement this project and becomes a success is a success. We are coming with a solution to provide them alternative livelihood and
Mhm.
best practices.
Mhm.
We shall help them grow hay that
Mhm.
will be fodder for their animals. We are coming with alternative energy so they don't have to depend on wood to cook,
Mhm.
amongst many other initiatives.
Yeah.
And so we are going to do water installation
Mhm.
in strategic places around that area. The place that we've been given has got two streams, natural water sources, springs
Mhm.
from the ground.
Yeah.
We're going to fence that place off so that we can harness the water that is being produced in that place. So and the water that shall be supplied by water boozers and other water supply mechanisms to the hill will also one of the water tanks will be for the community
Mhm.
so that we save them the hassle of going downstream to get the water that they need for their households. So so that every tree that we shall plant with the a few we have called them community environmental scouts,
Mhm.
they will be able to water the trees daily
Mhm.
or as periodically.
Yeah.
So we'll not have to depend on the rain.
Mhm.
And there's a section that we have also put up aside that will are working on establishing a recreational park. So we'll provide facilities,
Mhm.
eco toilets, beautiful sitting place that you can sit and relax. Most importantly, I should mention is that the fencing poles that we have to use are going to be from plastic recycled material,
Wow.
so that
Mm-hmm.
that project will be eco
Mm-hmm.
in every sense of that word. The only thing that will be there definitely hedge is the chain link wire fence
Yeah.
to protect the wildlife or
Yeah.
domestic from
Yeah.
coming into the grazing into the place where we'll have planted the trees.
Yeah.
And the definitely when you fence off an area and plant trees and it rains and you water very well, grass will grow. So what we will work with the community and the youth there is that we can work on after the grass has grown to whatever height, we'll have it all cut, dried, packed into hay so that we can have the animal provided for in the alternative in the time that there is scarcity of vegetation.
So I heard that a lot of these had support from different stakeholders, even some who are members of the government. Yeah,
Yes,
what difference can you tell us that has been there now in terms of now? Just a minute. Okay. So, what difference can you tell us has been there when you're asking for support, even approaching people for these particular projects between now 2017 and right now? What has the education of people been, and how open-minded have people been with these now particular projects?
it is certainly has not been easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it is, I should say, it is like in the past, very recent past, that people are coming to realize
Mm-hmm.
the importance of environmental conservation.
Mm-hmm.
With the extreme drought that we have had, that has
Mm-hmm.
costed lives and livelihoods, so we have tried reaching out to agencies, organizations who did not really see the importance,
Mm-hmm.
but until very recently. That's when I think it was on 13th of November, when it was announced that we're going to have a national tree planting. Then people
Mm-hmm.
realized, wow, it's this important.
Yeah.
The government did not facilitate
Mm-hmm.
many people,
Yeah.
many institutions, but people went out of their way. Private individuals went into buying seedlings for themselves, and trees were planted in homesteads, in schools, institutions, because you have seen the importance. And also,
Mm. What do you mean by this for those
we
people who don't
we
understand it?
in schools we have encouraged
Mm-hmm.
and have planted the fruit bearing fruit because of the immediate benefits, not just fruit bearing fruit, but those that have been whose whatever genetic makeup has been enhanced,
Mm-hmm.
grafted,
Yeah.
because by in the next 2 3 years, kids are able to get fruit from the trees that have been planted around the schools.
Mm-hmm.
At community level,
Mm-hmm.
you we have planted or supplied seedlings that are fast, mature fast,
Mm-hmm.
because of the many other benefits that come with it. Then in the forest area, we do indigenous trees because they
Mm-hmm.
are for conservation.
Yeah.
Another important area that we have worked to ensure that people really get to know the importance
Mm-hmm.
is waterways
Yeah.
and wetlands.
Mm-hmm.
On Friday, which is 2nd of February, is the World Wetlands Day.
Yeah.
We have a lot of wetlands that have been encroached. Some of it because of ignorance,
Mm-hmm.
but most of it's because of people just wanting to make a living. Farmers cultivating up to the shore of the river,
Yeah. Yeah.
not knowing the danger that they subject the river to,
Yeah.
because it will dry up and not be able to produce as it ought to. So we are working to ensure that have worked and are working to ensure that right seedlings or trees are planted in the right location, so that you're able to to maximize on the success of its growing, ensure that our waterways, our riverines, our wetlands are really brought back to life, so that they're able to sustain our lives, and we have the ecosystem really taken care of in
Yeah.
that regard.
So, besides all of these, yeah, these success stories that we have had, yeah, and other great projects that I know that we cannot be able to narrate now because I know you have done a lot of
Mm,
projects, yeah.
mm.
What are some of those now particular challenges that you have experienced when now trying to achieve now these particular goals?
Thank you. The challenges are certainly a myriad, but we
Mm-hmm.
have taken those challenges as learning curves. It is those challenges that have enabled us to come this far. They have been an inspiration and an encouragement. The challenges, definitely, we needed logistical challenges and to facilitate um, all the activities. Tree growing or planting expeditions or ventures are a very expensive affair because it all starts from community engagement first. You see, when you just go to a place as good, as big as it may be,
Yeah.
even fenced off and all that,
Mhm.
without the engagement of the community, to have them have a buy-in, because after you have accomplished the project, you will leave. So before you engage, you need to get to know, engage them. So that how can they be part and parcel of the project? That is one. Um, Make it clear how do they stand to benefit,
Mhm.
not just in the future,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
So the challenges have been to get the resources to pay them, for
Mhm.
instance, because when you do community barazas with the help of the area chief,
Mhm.
um, they expect lunch. They expect, some of them have having given you few of the hours in the morning and the afternoon to go back with something. So getting somebody to fund a community engagement has been a challenge, and so the resource aspect. Another challenge has been, definitely, even with all that, sustainability of those projects, like ensuring that we have water supply to really grow those trees, so that when asked how many of the many thousands or hundreds you planted are you able
Mhm.
to register success.
Yeah.
So being able to the- to follow through, travel to the places we did the activities, even the people that we have on the ground, they occasionally, if they don't stay in the close proximity to where you did the activity,
Mhm.
you need to facilitate them,
Yeah.
so that they get feel encouraged to really be part of the success. So such has been the challenge, in it all goes round to one aspect: finances. But I think going forward, we have working on having our own sustainability mechanisms, so that we are working on establishing. We have our own tree nursery,
Mhm.
uh, courtesy of Kenya Forest Service,
Yeah.
at the KG's University, and you're working with our county coordinators to ensure that we have our very own. So that if you don't have, quote unquote, the monies to buy, we have our own reservoir of the same seedlings. Then every other aspect of it, we see how we can have it in place. So, but like I've said, those challenges have not been challenges per se, but have been learning curves, and they have given us experiences, insight, and understanding that we did not have before the challenges came. So we are here to ensure that we help among us, with the help of other agencies, we combat and mitigate the devastating effects of climate change. And as we do that, besides that, those we also work on building resilience to communities by environmental education, community engagements, and all other initiatives that will help impact those lives of various communities in different places positively. Yes.
Definitely. So, what does now? How does that? What is the future of climate change now? As you come to a conclusion, what does now the future look like? What do you see with our future now? The president declared now 15 billion trees needs to be planted. We are hearing now new conversations about carbon credits.
Mm.
A lot seems to be coming up
The
with
future
climate change.
of climate change.
Mhm.
Team Environment Kenya sees it as an economic empowerment opportunity. So, whereas it is a threat to human beings or humanity
Mhm.
and the environment, there is so much of opportunity that will bring transformation to our lives, because by learning adaptation measures, by now growing the trees as the 15 billion, the many that the president wants by 2030, we'll have a cleaner, a greener, a much more habitable environment for ourselves, for our wildlife, and for our domestic animals. So I mean, it is a good scare so that we can go and do the right thing.
mm,
Because by doing that right thing, we'll have our lives safe,
mhm,
secure, and our livelihoods will also be secure. And so it comes with a lot of economic empowerment and job creation of I should call them blue collar jobs. And so climate change, I have seen it in that way. We're going to need to have proper solid and liquid waste mechanisms. So children are innovatively coming with solution. Kids,
mhm,
youth, boys, women, of how renewable energy, um, uh, best conservation and farming practices, coming up with seeds that are research innovations of crop that are healthy but drought resistant, among as many other things. So we need to have water harvesting systems so that we're able to have irrigation, so that it comes with a whole package of good, which we need to harness, to unpack, so that we have our lives, not just our lives, but those that come after us, not just good, bigger and better. That's our philosophy as Team Environment Kenya. We are about one thing, among as many others, leaving a heritage for future generations of a cleaner, greener, food and water secure environment, flora, fauna, and aquatic life. And the clarion call to all that are watching us and sharing these great stories is, let's go green with you,
yeah.
because we can't by ourselves.
Actually, that's our very last question we usually ask. Let me now do it officially.
Yes,
What is your call to action today as we
our
conclude?
call to
Mm,
action, it's about all of us. It's about, that's why our name, as our name suggests, we are a team,
mm,
the team environment Kenya.
yeah.
So irrespective of your profession, irrespective of your of who you are, because climate change has no color, has no race, has no tribe, has no borders or boundaries. You will hear it in South Africa, you will hear it in Uganda, Rwanda, every, so it is a cross border challenge. So can we come on board, all of us? Let's go green with you,
Mm,
in your county, wherever you are. And it don't have to be big. We call it my little thing. What is that little thing can you do to ensure that you have clean a clean environment? And it has to be from as little, even from the little kids in school. We are working in various schools and institutions to ensure that we inculcate best and good environmental practices in kids, in children, so that when they grow up, they mature being responsible boys and girls, not just future leaders, but futures of the present. We modeling after them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Parents should ensure that they start these conversations early with their children.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not that they can grow being know aware of this now what is happening in the climate. And what I've left with today is that it is our collective responsibility.
Mm.
Nature has no voice. We are the voice of
Sure. Sure.
nature.
Sure.
We are
Sure.
the
Sure.
one that lives in this particular world,
Very true.
in this particular environment. And that was our guest for today. That is Mr. Matthew Ochanda. Continue to go to his social media platforms. Probably you can tell us about
Yes.
the social media platforms for tech and go check out the great work he's
Please,
doing.
the just to a testament, what we
Mm-hmm.
just shared with you in the shortest time that we have had was
Mm-hmm.
a snippet
Yeah.
of the lot of work that we've done in many places. So
Yeah.
go check us out on social media platforms. Facebook, we are at Team Environment Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, Team Environment Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, Twitter or X,
Yeah.
formerly
These
known
days.
currently,
Yeah.
is at TEK_Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, Team Environment Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, Team Environment Kenya. Like, follow, subscribe, and share.
Mm-hmm.
And let's all be part of this great conversation and real work. Let's
Yeah.
fold our
Yeah.
sleeves.
Exactly.
Let's make a difference in our own small and great ways.
Let's put our hearts on deck, yeah, and save our environment. This environment is no other person's responsibility,
Mhm.
but our own responsibility to take our hands and save together and say, you know what, we can be able to do this. We can make our lives greener. We can be able to make our environments more greener and greener, and make them beautiful. Sindio manze.
Sure.
Thank you so much for staying with us, and make sure that you see us on the next podcast. Only on this podcast we see that tunaona, tunasikia, na tutabonga. We are
Wow.
seeing, we are hearing, and we are going to talk about it.
Awesome.
And that's why we are the voice Kenya manze. Thank you so much. See you next time. Adios, muchachos. Peace out.
Thank you.